So let's start by creating a project. Then you cd into the folder My Project, and you run FaaStRuby Local. Then once the server starts, you just visit localhost 3000, and there you go. This is the project folder. You have two folders here, one called Functions and the other one called Public. Here's the project configuration file. We have some defaults here that are important to know. For example, the static files go inside of a folder called Public, and the functions, they go inside of a folder called Functions by default. The root path pointing to a function called root, as you can see here, and we also have the catch-all. What is the catch-all? If you try to go to a URL path that does not correspond to a function or a static file, then the catch-all function will be executed. A function must have a handler file and a configuration file. Let's look at the configuration file. Here you see there is the name of the function and the runtime. If you want to know more about how to set up this file, go check out our docs at FaaStRuby.io. So let's look at our root function. If you look at the handler file, you see that we have a handler method. This method is important because it's the method that gets called when your function runs. So this function is pretty simple. It just renders an ERB template, passing some variables to it. I created a template class here, but you don't really need to focus on that right now. So let's look at the ERB template. It's just a normal boilerplate HTML file, and it takes a variable here to print a greeting. So let's go change that. We go to the handler file, and then we add hello there, and we save, and if we reload the page, you see that it's there. But that kind of broke the design, so let's move this text to the left. I just go to the public folder, style sheets, and I'm gonna move this to the left. I'll save, reload the page, and it's here. Now let's see how we can create functions. Say that we wanna build a list of pets. So you just come here in your functions folder, and then you add a new folder, say called lists, and then inside of this folder lists, you add another one, pets. And then inside of the folder pets, let's create a file, handler.rb. When you do that, FaaStRuby Local detects that you're trying to create a Ruby function and initializes the handler.rb file for you and creates the configuration file. Now let's create a class for pets. I'm going to add another file here called pet.rb. There you go. You have a simple pet class that it just takes a type and a name. And then there are some other helper methods here to make it easier for me to render the response. So now let's update the handler file. So basically we require the file pet, and then we initialize a dog named Rocky and a cat named Oscar, and then we build a list of pets and we render it in JSON format. So if we go visit the URL, and there you go. You see our list of pets. One thing to notice is how the URL path follows the same directory structure that you see in your project. Now let's add this list to our homepage. We go back here to the handler file from the root function, and let's make some changes here. Now I'm requiring the function pets as pets, and here I just call the function and assign it to a variable, and then I pass the variable to the ERB template. So we save it, and let's go change the HTML file. There you go. So it's pretty simple. I just iterate over the pets, and then I print I have a pet type named pet name. So let's save this, and let's go visit localhost. You have my pets. I have a dog named Rocky and a cat named Oscar. Now let's add a new pet. There you go. And when I reload the page, I have a bunny named Roger. Let's hit Ctrl+C to stop FaaStRuby Local and start it again with the argument --sync. When I do that, FaaStRuby Local will connect to my local environment to a cloud workspace and deploy all static assets and functions. So let's visit the workspace URL. There you go, my function is there. Now let's add a new pet. There you go. Now let's save the handler file. FaaStRuby Local deployed my function to the cloud. I have a mouse named Mickey. Now let's change the design again. I'm going to move the text to the center and reload the page. If you start FaaStRuby Local with the sync option, you can see right away how your changes are going to perform in the cloud. So that's it for this demo, and I hope you enjoyed it.